Welcome. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Let me make sure yes, okay. Wanted to make sure about the share that I have.
Amen.
Thank you. So we are dealing here with the priestly garments. And this part that we're dealing with is called the Ephod. We had left off in the middle of it, and true confessions, I am truly challenged by the Rashis and the Torah for that matter, in terms of really understanding all that's going on here in terms of the fabrication of the Ephod. So let me make sure, let me find out, I think we're ahead a little bit here. Yep, here we are. This is where we left off last year, and in the midst of this. So what I think I would like to do is show you what the Ephod looks like if I can find it. Okay, so this is some of it. Give me a moment. Okay, so here's what I want you to see. That is the Ephod. That's the Ephod. And you can see it's a complicated garment, right? This belt here, which is I think it's actually part of the Ephod itself, is known as the Cheshev HaEphod. And of course, it's with this that he tied it around his waist, and we'll show you these things. These were shoulder straps, and I believe we're going to be talking about this part here, I believe. So let me show you how this is working. Let's take a look at the front of it first. So you can see here those blue threads. You can see how it ties in front. And you can see how these shoulder pieces, I'll just take this here, go up around the back, and then come around the front, which is something we talked about the last time. And then there are these chains, right, with which this is the Choshen, the breastplate, is attached. That's how that's attached there. And then from the bottom as well. So we'll see what we can do to get that worked out. Let me show you one other picture. I may have to stop the, oops, I don't want to stop the share. I'm going to go to see if I can go, yep, here we are. I wanted you to see this. Here is it's not showing it to you. So sorry. Oh, it is. You can see the breast piece, correct? Right. Okay. And you can see the chains, and you can see how it's actually a flap that's doubled up behind. So this part folds up and goes behind, and then it's attached here. So let's get into the Rashi here. And now, hopefully, because of these pictures, you can visualize what Rashi is trying to tell us. Okay, so let's just we'll go from here. Okay. All right, go back to the text itself. For asita shtei tabot zahav, you shall make 2 rings of gold. V'samta otam, and you shall place them al shnei ktsot hachoshen, on the 2 edges of the choshen, the breastplate, al sfato, on its well, literally it means lip, right? On its lip, but it means on its edge. Asher al ever ha'ephod baita. Interesting. This little phrase is an interesting phrase, right? Which is opposite, which is on the other side of the ephod, on the inside. Let's take a look at the Rashi. And I can try and see if we can do this picture again if you want based on that. But let's check the Rashi, and then we'll see what we can do. Al shnei ktsot hachoshen, on the 2 edges of the breastplate. Hein shtei pe'otav hatachtonot liyamin usmol. So they're the 2 corners, right? The 2 corners on the bottom on the right and on the left. So let me see if I can illustrate that. Okay. So I believe he's really talking about this. And look how we can assume that it folds here, that's where it folds. And then this is going to fold up. And this is going to be on the inside, this part here. These rings, I believe these are rings here. Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. I'll try. And maybe I can't. I'm trying very hard here to see if I can make it bigger. Let's see. No, I'm sorry. I don't seem to be able to make it any bigger. Well, no. All right. So if this is going to fold here where you can see the little plus sign, and if this is going to fold up behind. And so the rings are going to be on the inside closer to the priest. Let's do this here. So you can see this is now folded up. Do you see how this is on the inside here? That would be the baita, I believe, that he's talking about. And I'm going to go back into the text now. Okay. So notice it was on its two corners, on the bottom, on the right, and on the left. Al sfato hasher al ever ha'ephod baita. On its edge, which is opposite the ephod on the inside. Harei lecha shnei simanim. He says the Torah is in fact giving to you two signs, two indications. Ha'echad sheyitnem b'shnei ktzot shel tachtito. One is that he should put this on, that he should put them, these rings, on the two edges on the bottom. Shehu keneged ha'ephod, which is opposite the ephod. She'el yono, because the top of the Choshen, eino keneged ha'ephod, is not opposite the ephod. And let me again illustrate that. Here it is. So there's the top of the Choshen. You can see that it doesn't touch the ephod. On the other hand, the breastplate does in fact connect on some kind of level. It's very close to the cheshev of the ephod. Okay, so let's see, and let's go back to the text itself. So glad I can do this. Okay. All right. Shehare samuch litzavaru. This is still talking about the top of the breastplate because it is close to the neck. Ooh, let's keep going here. The ha'ephod natun al motnav, and the ephod is placed over his loins, as you saw, right? We go back quickly if you like. Take a look at how that is. Right? These are his loins. They're underneath here. And so his ephod is covering his loins. Right? At least it's over his loins. Okay. For Odnatan Sima, and he gives another indication, Shelo yikba'em be'ever hachoshen shekaplei hachutz. And he's also telling you that these rings should not be attached on the side of the choshen, of the breastplate, shekaplei hachutz, which is towards the front, ella be'ever shekaplei klape panim, but on the side that is on towards the inside, shene'emar baita, because it says baita, from bait, on the inside, and that I showed you before, but I'm going to show you again. Okay. So this is the part that is going to be towards the body of the priest, of the high priest, and you can see here how they are attached there on the inside. So you have a complete the choshen, the front of the choshen It does not have any attachments there, and the back of it is where these rings are going. And that, I believe, is what Rashi is talking about. And certainly it does make sense. So let's keep going. Okay, let's see. The oto ha'ever hu letzad ha'ephod, okay? And this particular side of the Choshen is on the side of the ephod, letzad ha'ephod, shecheshev ha'ephod. There we go, right? Because that belt, the cheshev of the ephod, chogro la kohen, right, is tied, or wrapped, right? La Kohen, for the Kohen, the Nikpal Hasinar, and the apron is folded over or doubled Lifnei HaKohen, before the Kohen, Al Motnav, on his loins. The Ktsat Kreso Mikan Umikan, and part of his oh gosh, I did not look up this word, keres. Let me look up quickly if I can. Forgive me, I did not check that out, and it's going to take me a moment. But I think it's not just body. I'll have to look and see. Give me a moment. Let's see here. Okay. All right. This is going to take longer than I thought. Sorry. Okay. Let's see if this will do it. Okay. So that's gonna... Here we go. So it's coming in. Okay, here's the actual Rashi. This is the Rashi in Sif. Sorry, you can't see it. Let me forgive me. Let's see if I can find. Here we are. Right here. So this is the well. Here in this part here, and let's find out. So around him, and the folder in front of the piece of. So he trumps Kresav as loins again, right? Oh, and a part. That's right. Kresav would be his stomach. His stomach. Forgive me. That's what that would be. Here, and let me go back to the Rashi. Right. So keres is stomach. I just couldn't remember it at the time. Let me put that in. Oops, there we go. Great stuff. Thank you for doing this with me. Great soul. On this side and on that side. Okay, this I can make a little smaller. Right, so then we can go again. I can show you just very quickly that illustration. Right, so this is his stomach here, right? You can see how it's tied over his stomach. I believe that's what this is talking about, that his stomach is somewhere in there. Okay, let's go back. Mikan u'mikan ad keneged sot hachoshen, until it is opposite the edge of the choshen, uktsotav shochvin alav, and its edges lie upon it. Again, I want to look at the illustration. That's what he's talking about. This little area is what Rashi is talking about. So it's possible that this is a little higher up and this is a little further down, at least the way, but alav could be right above it as well. So we could certainly understand it that way too. All right, let's go to the next passage. So you can see, I mean, there's a lot being said here, and the only way I can handle it is to go over it just slowly and as carefully and mindfully as I can. All right, let's go back here. Va'asita, and you shall make tabot zahav, 2 rings of gold, v'natata otam al shtei kitfot ha'ephod, and you shall place them on the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod milmata, on the lower edge, mimul panav, opposite his face, leumat machvarto, opposite where it is connected. Mima'al l'cheshev ha'ephod, on the top of the cheshev, that belt, right, of the ephod. So it's sounding to me as if he is talking about this. That these are the rings he's talking about. And let me again go to the other illustration where it's actually attached. So this, because this would be above, all right, but it's hard to really tell, but it seems to me that that's what he's talking about. But remember, there are also rings here too, right? There. And ketefot would be his shoulder pieces. So is this verse actually talking about, and it's not real clear, okay, as to whether or not it's talking about actually rings here and rings here. Let me go to this again. All right, let's go back into the text and see. Al shtei ketefot ha'ephod milmata. Okay, so that let's see what he's saying. Okay, on the 2 edges of the ephod, on the lower down below, shahamish betzot netunot berashe tefot ha'ephod. See, now he's talking about, I can tell you what this is. He says the squares, these are the squares that had the onyx stones on his shoulders. They are placed at the top of the shoulder pieces, a katef, right? Means to put, that has to do with your shoulder of the ephod, el yonim, on the top side. Let's see. This I'm going to have, right. I'm going to say, al ktefav. He placed them on his shoulders, keneged gerono, opposite his neck. Let me go back again and show you some illustrations. This is it. These are the shoulder pieces. That's the mishpatzot he's talking about, right? That's what he's talking about. And this is what here's where they were. You can't really see them, but you have to imagine them there. And they're opposite his neck. See that? Okay. Let's go back into the text. Okay. V'nik palot v'yordot, and they are folded, they're doubled, and they come down lifanav, before him. V'hatabaot tziva liten beroshan, and the rings God commanded to place at their heads, right? Hasheni, on the second one, right? Shehu mechubar la'ephod, which is attached to the ephod. Again, let's just read a little bit more Rashi, and then I want to go back to the illustration. V'hu shene'emar, and this is referred to when it says leumat machbarto, when it says opposite its connection. Samuch lamakom, and he says what this means is next to the place I think, chiburan be'ephod lamala, where they are attached to the ephod above. Okay, now this is okay. Min be'ephod lamala min hachagura, above the belt, ma'at, a little bit. So again, this is I admit this is not easy stuff. Ma'at, okay, chagura ma'at. So a little above the belt, ma'at is a little bit. So again, let's take a look carefully here. So earrings. This is when he says doubled up. Is he talking about the fact that this is doubled, right? And is he talking about these rings here on the shoulder pieces, and to that ring up there, and that there are also rings on the bottom that we've already encountered? We've talked about that. So I'm just thinking and reflecting on the different qualities that the Torah brings out of us at various times. So in this particular element of the Torah, we have to be so patient and willing to be puzzled and stuff like that. All right. Here we are. I'm trying to think. Okay. So he's talking about one pair and another pair for elu nitunim, and these are, so he's talking about whether he's talking about these particular rings here, nitunim ma'at begova. Okay, they're placed a little bit in the height. Okay, this sounds like he's talking about the other rings, the ones that are on the shoulder piece. Begova skifat haktefot, where the shoulder pieces go up, okay, on the height. Hu shene'emar, and this is referred to. This is mima'al l'cheshev ha'ephod. He's saying above, when it says above the cheshev of the ephod, ve'hein neged sof ha'choshen, and they are opposite the end of the breastplate. Venoten ptil, here we go, this is clear now. And venoten ptil tchelet, and he puts a ribbon of blue of tchelet, be'otan hatabaot, in those rings, uvetabaot hachoshen, and then also in the rings of the Choshen. So I go back for a second and show you what he's talking about here. And we're going to go back to that picture here. He's talking about this, that there must be rings right here. And this is obviously right next to the Cheshev HaEphod. So, I'm probably going to have to go over this a couple of times to be sure about what I'm talking about. Now, look, these are right next to the shoulder pieces. Do you see that? And then here, we see how these are these ribbons that come and get attached on this side here, right? So they came around from the back. We'll show you this one a little bit larger, right? There they are, coming around, right, to the front, and then attaching to the Choshen. Okay. He places this ribbon, this blue ribbon, in those rings, uvetabaot hachoshen, and in the rings on the bottom of the choshen, verochsin beoto ptil leyamin ulismol, and you pull that ribbon, spreads out on with that. That ribbon gets extended on the right and on the left, shelo yehe tachtit hachoshen, so that the bottom of the choshen, holich lifnim, doesn't move forward, v'chozer la'achor, and comes back. In other words, the choshen is now not going to, that's the breastplate, is not going to be able to sway. Ve'nokesh al kreso, so that it would start banging against his stomach. V'nimtza meyushav al ha'me'il yafer. And so now it is set up in a great way on the me'il, on the cloak. And I'm going to stop here in terms of our Rashi. Hold on a second. Ooh, let's see what's going on here. Try that. That's better. Technology. So we'll get to that, please God, tomorrow. And let me go back to the picture, right? And this is what he's talking about, right? So this now couldn't flap forward and back with him. Going to stop the share and leave it open if anybody has any comments. I guess one thing I certainly would want to know is, was this sort of understandable? Was this?
Yeah. It was interesting that you showed the picture, and it was real. I mean, Rashi said that, and the picture showed it. It was very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, but the only thing is, I don't understand. The uniform is worn on the festivals, but there's one festival, Yom Kippur. Is it still worn, or do they wear white, like the Kohen did today?
Okay. He wore both. He would wear the white linen, okay, when he'd go into the Holy of Holies. But at other times on that day, he would wear, these were his official garments. Whenever the high priest did any service in the temple, he had to wear these garments. These were the garments, unique garments.
Explained in the Avodah service?
Say that again.
Day? Isn't it explained in the Avodah service
It
as
is.
they're
And
going
he
through
talks
it?
about his changing, about how many times he changed his, etc. Right.
So many changes of clothes.
Yes, exactly.
And why do the priests are barefooted? Why are they barefooted?
Well, do you remember when Moses appeared to the burning bush? Do you remember what God said to him? What was the first thing he said to him?
Oh, take off your shoes. Yeah.
Yep.
Because of the dirt. Yeah.
I think there are other reasons for it as well, because our feet, the soles of our feet, are where we are connected to the earth, connected to the ground. Okay. And I think I think there's actually some stuff written in various, not just Jewish literature, but in other literature as well, about the significance of the soles of our feet and their connectedness to the earth. And there shouldn't be any interposition there, that there's in a sense, a seamless connection, both in terms, and in some ways, what we read with the Malbim might make some sense as well, right? In terms of the human being a model of the universe, and the universe being a model of a human being, and trying to make this seamless connection between the divine and other lives that we are in, that we are the physical lives that we're in. I'm going to stop the recording here, and we'll continue tomorrow, God willing.